I'm expanding my comfort zone because it's a part of who I am and what I do business wise.
And I'm learning how to expand my comfort zone because I don't do well outside of it.
That's correct.
But that has been my negative self-talk because I'm enjoying being outside of my comfort zone now.
Yeah.
So it's okay to be outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
But I was telling myself that it was a no-go.
I was about to say that.
It was a no-go because coming out of your comfort zone means change and it means growing. And they call it growing pains for a reason because sometimes it hurts to grow.
Yeah.
It hurts to be different and do things that you would never think you would do.
Yeah.
So for me, why would I do that?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. And the great thing is, one, you shifted your self-talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've shifted mine. Two, one of the things I want us to both hopefully impart upon our audience is that, stretch your comfort zone.
Yeah.
It's because when you say I'm coming out of my comfort zone, it's scary. And what happens to a lot of people when they jump out of their comfort zone, it's so scary they jump back in.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, no. You know what I mean? 3 people told me no if they're in sales. Or 4 people said no, they don't want to go on a date. So if they're in a dating scene or whatever, because they jumped out. Instead, just stretch.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, don't jump. Like you said it perfectly at the beginning when we first started. Just kind of take baby steps.
Yep.
If it's something that is unfamiliar.
Yeah. And that's what I want people to really get. We're just stretching comfort zones.
Mm-hmm.
If you're a go-getter, faith-driven, and family-focused, and need to break through to your next level, this is the podcast for you. Your self-talk can reshape every area of your life. It's time to dream and think big. Welcome to the Self-Talk Experience with Darnell and Tracy Self. It's time to elevate, baby. Let's get into the show.
Hey family, welcome back to the Self-Talk Experience. We are here, we are back, and I'm so excited. I mean, I'm always excited to be with you because you're my baby.
Yes.
And look, you try to dress alike. Look, black and white. What does your shirt say? We can all say, mine says talk good to yourself. My favorite part of our podcast, by the way, is at the end when our voiceover guy, shout out to Donald, and he says, this has been an episode of Self-Talk Experience with Darnell and Tracy Self. And remember, talk good to yourself.
Talk good to yourself.
That's my favorite part.
Yeah. I love it too.
So what do you have on today? Because you don't have on
self-talk. Catch the vision, but it's like an eye exam. So you can see the C and you're like, oh, I don't know what that is. That's because you can't see well. But catch the vision, right? So catch the vision is what it says. It's our team, our organizational shirt for Team New Vision, and it's 2022. So it's this whole catch the vision of where you like to be, not where you currently are. So sometimes you need to catch a new vision.
Well, that leads right into our topic.
Yeah.
You
want to talk about what our topic is?
Well, we said today we were going to talk about coming out of your comfort zone.
Yes, comfort zone.
Ironically enough, me being behind this mic and saying comfort zone is me coming out of my comfort zone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. No, it is.
But yes,
you were way out of your comfort zone, by the way, which I love. I mean, but we're over 30 episodes now. Do you feel a little bit more comfortable?
I do.
Okay.
And I'm also very excited because I feel like I have grown so much as a person just from the topics and just being on here and having enough nerve to do it.
Yeah.
Because, we talked about this before. I was not interested at all in doing the podcast, but I was interested in doing something with you.
Yeah.
So I said, okay, I'll do it because I'm going to be doing something with you. Podcast.
I mean, we've been stay-at-home parents for a long time. You're not tired of seeing me. You see me every day. I'm at home. Well, except when I travel. But then you travel with me.
You were always
the time you got kicked off the tour.
You were always gone, though. So it was okay because you traveled like every other week. So that was fine. It was kind of like you weren't there. Well, but I do miss you when you go.
Okay.
I do. Okay. But yeah, so you asking me to come on here and do this with you really was a big step for me because I know that, they say everything is better outside of your comfort zone. You start living your best life outside of your comfort zone. You make the biggest decisions of your dreams outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
But I was very okay with being in my comfort zone. I really was because you can kind of perform at a steady level when you're in your comfort zone. There's no anxiety, there's no stress. And for me, I stay away from anxiety and stress as much as I can. So for me, coming outside of my comfort zone was a huge deal.
Yeah.
Because I was performing at a steady pace and I was very happy.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So why do you think it's said that everything is better on the other side of your comfort zone?
Because growth and your comfort zone don't coexist.
Okay. I agree.
So when you're inside of your comfort zone, you're drawing on your past experience. That's why there's some ease there.
Right.
Right. There's not as much trepidation and
Mhm.
pause
Mhm.
because you're drawing on what you're already familiar with, which is your past. So
So
you've
it's
done it
not
before. You've been there,
scary.
done that. Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's kind of been there, done that. I'm good. I know this. I know
Yeah.
it like the back of my hand.
Mhm.
You're comfortable. Growth happens when you're experiencing something that challenges you,
Yeah.
something that stretches you, something that causes you to do something that you're unfamiliar with, because it causes you to think through it. It causes you to act in a way that you're unsure.
Mhm.
So you're stretching. And one of the key things about expanding, you look afraid right now, like, oh, no, I don't even want to talk about being outside my comfort zone. But here's a wonderful thing about being outside of your comfort zone. You don't have to step outside of your comfort zone. What I coach people to do is stretch your comfort zone.
What's the difference?
Imagine a rubber band.
Yeah.
And instead of just pulling it, you just slowly stretch it, little by little.
Right.
And what happens is weeks later, months later, years later, because it's been such a slight stretch,
It's that
you
slight
look
edge,
back
right?
and you say,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I am not the same person. And if you see someone you haven't seen in a while, they're like, what have you been doing? Whether it's fitness,
Yeah.
whether it's business, because it's been years.
Or even
And
the
you've
way you
been-
speak.
The way you speak.
Yeah.
Right? Perhaps it's a new endeavor. Like you went from not working out at all, like I don't like working out, I don't want to sweat, to being a fitness instructor. Like that's, so people who hadn't seen you would say, hold on. You are not teaching a fitness class when you didn't even work out at all. But that happened over time.
It did. It did.
You see? So that's the key to a comfort zone, just like Janelle Jefferson behind this camera here. Like she is not the same person that she was, probably because she's been here producing the self-talk experience. So I'm sure, being right behind the scenes on all these episodes have helped. But outside of that, and I'm just joking, because the self-talk experience wasn't even around when she first started stretching her comfort
Right. That's
zone.
what I was going to say.
Yeah, but she's not the same person. Right. And it's only because slowly but surely you start doing some things you hadn't done before.
Right.
That could be a little scary, as you said, maybe cause a little anxiousness, but you make a decision that I don't want to be this person anymore.
Right.
And to be that person is not inside your comfort zone. To be that new person doesn't exist inside your comfort zone.
No, and sometimes it's not necessarily a positive thing that brings you out of your comfort zone.
Very true.
Sometimes it can be you are really pushed and stretched because there's something negative going on and you don't want to be in that place anymore.
Yeah.
You don't want to be that person anymore. You don't want to do these things anymore. And so you look at yourself and say, you know what? Something has to change.
Right.
So it could be something negative that pushes you.
Yeah.
Or it could be something positive.
Yeah. Yeah. No, we talked about that. It was a previous episode. We talked about motivation, and we talked about how some people, and you said an and here, I said an or, and then you corrected me, but you were absolutely right that some people are motivated by moving away from pain to avoid pain. They're like, I'm not going to live like this. I'm not going to deal with this situation ever again. I've learned from my mistakes. So that pain pushes them away from who they used to be. And some people, because they desire this particular pleasure so badly, they're like, no, I want to live like that. They're not thinking about what used to be. They're only thinking about what could be.
Right.
And then you said, well, couldn't it be a little bit of both? I'm like, you're absolutely right. Remember that episode?
I do.
You guys go back and watch it. But you're absolutely right. I think with our comfort zone, we have to decide if we want something different than what we currently have. Some people don't. They're like, I'm good. You know what this was? You know how people say
But that's
that.
why I said, when you're in your comfort zone, you're still performing. You're still performing at a steady level. So your self-talk could be, I'm okay in my comfort zone.
Right.
And but is that negative to feel that way? If you're thriving and happy and comfortable in your comfort zone,
No.
who's to say that
Nobody.
you have to come out of your comfort zone?
Nobody at all. Nobody at all. We're just giving people ideas here that if you want growth, and some people don't. Like let's use dating as an example.
So what you're saying is there's no way you can grow in your comfort zone.
That is absolutely correct.
Okay.
Right? Because unless you're doing something that's challenging you to do something, to say something, to be someone that you've never been before, then you're always the same person.
You're not going to grow. Yeah, I got it.
So I don't want you to think, again, we're not talking about jumping out of your comfort zone, becoming a completely different person. What we're saying is stretching it. So little by little, that's why it takes some grace, which you always tell me, you got to give me some grace, baby. I'm just becoming this person, and it doesn't happen overnight.
Right.
Anything you want to say about that?
I do not.
Marriage counseling?
First of all, we don't go to marriage counseling. It's marriage retreat.
Same thing.
It's not.
I mean, they counsel us while we're there.
Not one-on-one.
I mean, well, maybe we should get marriage counseling. Sounds like right now we need some.
Well, I'm going to come out of my comfort zone and make a call then, because what is wrong with you?
Hey, 28 years, man. It's time. Take it to the next level.
Okay.
Look, let's use dating. So look, so we're talking about dating, right?
Okay.
I think it could be challenging on both ends of dating, because we got married when I was 24, you were 23.
Mm-hmm.
You had no idea that the person you married would not be the same person 10 years from that point.
Right. That's
like
true.
At 34, I was not the same guy as 24. Right? I was constantly stretching myself, never settling. And you were like we're good. We're making good money.
Yeah, because the guy I married had a job.
Right.
Yeah, and then it changed.
Right.
Because you came out of your comfort zone and wanted more.
Right. So the guy you married could be home at dinner.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Watch a movie or watch sports. We hold hands, and it was that. But as an entrepreneur, it's like you never knew what tomorrow was going to hold.
Yeah. Totally different schedule.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's different for people when you are with someone, in a relationship with someone, a friendship, and all of a sudden this person's stretching their comfort zone and they're becoming someone who they weren't when you decided to be in that relationship. And again, it could be a friendship, it could be a marriage.
Yeah.
Then you have on the other end, I'm interested in hearing your perspective here. On the other end, you have people who meet someone when they're, I don't know, let's call it 40s, 50s.
Mm-hmm.
And this person has been this particular person all their life. And now this person's trying to tell them, hey, you know what? Why don't you try this? You could be this, you could be that, you could do so much more. And the person's like, you knew what this was when you went out on the second date with me. I am who I am.
Well, then that's not a match. If you're with someone who wants to grow and wants to stretch, and the person that you with is not interested in that, then that is a relationship that is, I don't want to sound negative, but that's a relationship that's not going to work down the line unless someone switches to saying, okay, I'll take what I got. Or the other person says, you're right, I want to be different. That relationship's not going to work. Is there some grace
and compromise there?
I guess it depends on where you are in your life, because, we just talked about happiness.
Right.
If it'll make you happy to wait it out, then great.
Right.
But if you really know that you're not going to be happy in that, and it doesn't look like it's going in the right direction, you're kind of wasting your time.
Yeah, no, this is good. This is a
Don't
good
you
conversation
think?
About comfort zone, because you admitted that comfort zone, being outside of your comfort zone, like stretching your comfort zone, can be scary, cause some anxiety. Maybe you said that in the very beginning. So someone may say, I'm willing to be this person.
Right.
It's just going to take me some time to get there, because I spent 30 years being this person and I can't turn into this person in 3 days.
Right.
So as long as they say I'm willing to,
and they're showing you signs that they're going in the right direction.
You were going to say that. Yep.
You can talk a good talk all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
And that doesn't have to be when you're dating. That could be in a marriage.
Yeah.
Or in a friendship that you've had for a long time.
Yeah.
Because at some point, someone may feel like they want to come out of their comfort zone and grow. So are we doing this together, or are we not doing this together?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And if I say, oh yeah, we're doing this together, and then 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, you're not seeing it, then you have to come back in and say, hey, I thought we were doing this together. Is that still something you want?
Yeah.
But that we've learned so much about communication, because if you don't communicate, you're always guessing.
Yeah.
You're always guessing. Are we in our comfort zone? Or are we not in the comfort zone? I don't know, because you told me this and I don't see it.
Right.
So you just have to communicate that with who you care about.
Yeah. That's so good, because in this case, change is a verb, and a verb is action.
Right.
And change means that there's something that's moving. Something is not what it used to be. And so you're absolutely right. It's one thing to say it. It's another thing to see it moving.
And change and grace go hand in hand. Because if I see you changing, then I am going to offer you grace in that particular situation.
Well, the person should offer grace. Not everybody just does.
No, but if we've talked about
Right.
it and we've agreed to that, then yeah.
Right. No, I'm talking about me right now, right? Because even though you have exhibited change in certain areas, I know I have not given you grace in certain areas, because you have admittedly said to me, I mean, can I get a little grace here? You just told me that, you would like for me to do A, B, and C. And I did A. I just haven't done B and C because it was last week.
Do you really think I need that many changes? A, B, and C?
D, E, F, G, H.
Wow, babe. Wow.
No, I'm just saying that there's some areas outside of your comfort zone that I'm sure you would love to grow to.
Is that a nice way of?
No, because let's just because this is our self-talk experience podcast
Therapy session, apparently.
audience. Let's be completely transparent with you guys.
Okay.
And that is the both of us are constantly expanding our comfort zone. I'm expanding my comfort zone because it's a part of who I am and what I do business-wise.
And I'm learning how to expand my comfort zone because I don't do well outside of it.
That's correct.
But that has been my negative self-talk, because I'm enjoying being outside of my comfort zone now.
Yeah.
So it's okay to be outside of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
But I was telling myself that it was a no-go.
I was about to say that.
It was a no-go because coming out of your comfort zone means change, and it means growing. And they call it growing pains for a reason, because sometimes it hurts to grow.
Yeah.
It hurts to be different and do things that you would never think you would do.
Yeah.
So for me, why would I do that?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I get it. And the great thing is, one, you shifted your self-talk, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've shifted mine. Two, one of the things I want us to both hopefully impart upon our audience is that, stretch your comfort zone.
Yeah.
It's because when you say I'm coming out of my comfort zone, it's scary. And what happens to a lot of people when they jump out of their comfort zone, it's so scary they jump back in.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, oh, no. You know what I mean? 3 people told me no if they're in sales. Or 4 people said no, they don't want to go on a date. So if they're in a dating scene or whatever, because they jumped out. Instead, just stretch.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah, don't jump. Like you said it perfectly
Stretch.
at the beginning when we first started. Just kind of take baby steps.
Yep.
If it's something that is unfamiliar.
Yeah. And that's what I want people to really get. We're just stretching comfort zones, right? So be careful jumping out of your comfort zone. Sometimes it can be so uncomfortable that we jump right back in, never to go out again.
Yes.
And I've seen that. So many people who had the potential to be everything they ever wanted to be. And they expressed all these dreams that they wanted. And I'm like, yes. And they're like, I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to take care of my mom. And they're just listing the things that they want in life and the people they want to become in life and all the things they want to be able to give in life. And because they had some resistance, like 1 week of resistance, not like a long time.
The door is shut.
1 week, they're like, oh, never mind. And they're back into who they used to be, never to think or dream about those things again.
Well, that's why it's important to have people around you that are paying attention.
Yeah.
And can help pull you back out of that.
Yeah.
Can say, wait, no, don't go back. Let's come on. I got you.
Yeah.
Come back out. Let's try it again.
Yeah.
And this time, instead of jumping in when you don't even know how to dive, let's just put our feet in. Let's just sit here and put our feet in and talk about it. And then maybe we'll get in, and then maybe we'll put our shoulders in, and then so if you have somebody to walk you through it that cares about you, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
It is.
And it is. And the last thing I want to share with that, this is so good. Tell me what you think about this.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm in a space where a lot of people are coaching other people,
Mm-hmm.
how to expand their comfort zone, sometimes a coach or an accountability partner can come across as insensitive because they're so used to being outside their comfort zone and they're so used to stretching their own comfort zone. They think that it should be simple for everybody else to expand their comfort zone.
I didn't think about that.
And so we say things like, I mean, just do it. Like, what's wrong? Just take the step.
Yeah.
And we don't realize that that person has taken that step 20,000 times, or I may be exaggerating, but they've fallen so many times where they're afraid to take the step again. I gave an example one time where the person on the outside of the pool was like, swim, put one arm in front of the other. But what they couldn't see is that there was an anchor tied to that person's ankle and was holding them down. And that was weight of their past, the weight of rejection, the weight of so many people telling them you could never do that, you could never be that, you could never accomplish that. And that's been holding them back for so long that they've got to remove that before they even can think about swimming or expanding their comfort zone. But the coach doesn't see that. They're like, just swim, because they don't see below the surface of the water.
Yeah. And also, in defense of the coach, they think that they're doing the right thing.
Oh, yeah.
They think that they're being positive and encouraging them, because if I can get them to do this, then they're going to be phenomenal. So they have all the right thoughts in mind.
Yeah.
But again, sometimes it's good to say this so they can think, you know what? Let me talk to them and find out exactly why.
That's the key.
And that's back to communication.
You're spot on. So the key to coaching and leading other people is to ask questions, right? We call it an interview, right? Game plan interview in my business. So it's like, let me ask you this. What would you say is your barrier in life? The thing that's held you back from doing what you know is possible? They were like, I grew up in this area. I did this, right? They'll tell you. Mm-hmm. So then we can talk about how we can help either remove those barriers or just keep moving forward with those barriers in place, and how other people have done it just like them. So it's inspiring and motivating them. Right. They're like, oh my gosh, you mean someone else did it with that still attached? Yeah. And now their self-talk is different. Instead of saying, I can't do it because I have kids, they say things like, I have to do it because I have kids. Right. I can't do it because I don't have money. And they realize someone else did it without money. Now they're saying, oh my gosh, I have to do it because I don't have money. So sometimes it's just about asking the right questions so we can find out what's been holding them back, so we can give them real life examples of other people who've done it and had situations just like theirs.
And the tactics go hand in hand too, because that does work for some people. You can do it. You got to do it. And there may be an anchor, but because that tactic works for them, the anchor goes away.
Yeah.
So it just depends on who you're talking to.
Yep.
Some people like when they're working out for the coach to be like, come on, you can do it. Are you that weak? I can't believe you're not doing it. That motivates some people to say, oh, okay, you don't think I can do it. I'm going to do it. But for some people, it's like, who are you talking to? Never mind. I don't want to do it anymore. And they start to cry.
That would be T-self, ladies and gentlemen.
Right. But again, having these conversations where you say, hey, be tough on me because I'm going to quit. If you don't talk to me like that, I ain't going to do that last rep.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But for me, I can say, don't do that. Give me a second. I'm going to finish. But that's not how I do. I'm not my best at that way.
Yeah.
So the tactic sometimes is the worst.
Yeah.
Because you just don't have those conversations.
Yeah. This is so funny how all these episodes really are woven together.
They're all intertwined. They really are.
Yeah, because we talked about that, like our 4 kids and different personalities and how different people motivated by different things. So it ties right into that.
Yeah.
All right, guys, we know you're going to expand your comfort zone. So we look forward to seeing you outside of your comfort zone, not tomorrow, but as you stretch and you look back, you say, oh my gosh, that was me 2 years ago, 2 months ago. I am not the same person that I used to be because I made a decision to stretch my comfort zone slowly but surely, to do something that was challenging me, that caused me to grow. And now I'm the person that I wanted to be, and not the person that I used to be.
Yep. And remember, the best day to expand your comfort zone is Thursday.
All right, guys. See you guys next time.
Thank you for listening to the Self-Talk Podcast with Darnell and Tracy Self. We hope you enjoyed. Be sure to rate and review this podcast on your favorite podcast listening platform. And we'll see you next time. And remember, talk good to yourself.
If you've ever started something and said to yourself, I'm not quitting until I reach the finish line, there's a perfect podcast for you. The We Won't Quit podcast by my man, Mike Humes, mailman and millionaire, never gave up. Not only did he have success, but he's helped a ton of other people do the same thing. He's going to be interviewing people who never stopped until they finish. So check it out. We Won't Quit podcast.